We assembled a team of top lawyers and investment professionals specializing in securities. We revolutionized our business model, moving to the sale of securities associated with premium real estate assets. What are GIAs? Guaranteed income assets are securities that yield fixed returns of between 6 and 8% per year for a period of 3 years. GIAs are associated with real estate properties acquired at substantial discounts. What are the properties associated with GIAs? We have outstanding real estate properties in our portfolio, from names such as Trump, Andre Balazs, and the Gansevoort. The intrinsic value of these properties provides the best long-term capital growth potential after the fixed yield period. How do GIAs work? How do they differ from other forms of residential real estate investments? GIAs are structured as a form of leaseback. The project sponsor leases the real estate property from the investor at the closing of the property purchase and pays the investor a substantial fixed income of 6 to 8% for a period of 3 years. The benefit of GIAs over other forms of real estate investment is the protected yield that does not depend on market rental values or on the actual rental performance of the property. How is the yield guaranteed? The yield is guaranteed by the project sponsor, who at the time of purchase will place into escrow the full amount sufficient to pay the 3-year guaranteed yield for each GIA investor. When is the yield paid? The yield is paid to investors quarterly, commencing at the end of the first quarter after the closing of the unit purchase. What about real estate taxes and maintenance on the property? Do these come out of the GIA yield? No. As an additional benefit, investors will not have to pay the common charges and the real estate taxes due on the property for the duration of 3-year GIA term. These will be paid by the project sponsor. The GIA yield is therefore paid net of taxes and expenses. What are the exit strategies? Investors will have the right to sell or otherwise transfer their unit during the 3-year fixed yield period. Investors will also have the right to cancel the lease for any reason at each of the first and second anniversaries of the commencement of the lease. The project sponsor has no right to cancel the lease before the expiration of the 3-year fixed yield term. The main exit strategy for the investors is the sale of the unit at the end of the fixed yield 3-year period, by which time the market should be well into expansion phase. The investor exchanges his fixed yields for the opportunity to realize any capital growth in the value of the property. However, the investor may also elect to continue to hold the property as an income-producing asset by placing it in the rental market after 3 years. The investor may also wish to occupy the property. Can anybody invest in a GIA? No. GIAs may only be purchased by investors who are not residents or citizens of the United States. In addition, GIA purchasers must be accredited investors, as defined by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. Can an investor occupy a GIA property? No. The real estate property associated with the GIA will be leased back to the project sponsor at closing. The sponsor may sublease the unit to a rental tenant during the 3-year term. For this reason, the unit cannot be occupied by the investor during this time. However, an investor can cancel the GIA program at the 1st or 2nd year anniversary of the closing on the property and occupy it if he wishes. Why should I invest in a GIA? In today's economic environment, investors face a dilemma. 1. Low-risk investments such as savings deposits offer minimal returns. 2. Investment opportunities promising high returns are speculative, high risk, and without guarantees. In contrast, GIAs offer the security of fixed yields while the market continues its recessionary cycle. And after 3 years, when the market should be well into its recovery phase, investors can realize the capital growth in the associated real estate property.